Instituto Peruano de Idiomas.
Basic English Session Number 5. Questions and Short Answers.
¿Qué tal? Muy buenas noches con todas y todos los miembros de la comunidad académica del Instituto Peruano de Idiomas. El día de hoy estamos continuando con los módulos o con el quinto módulo del idioma inglés básico. El día de hoy el tema es preguntas y respuestas cortas. Estamos con el licenciado Javier Sánchez León. Licenciado, siempre un gusto tenerlo con nosotros. Adelante, éxitos.
Muy bien. Buenas tardes, alumnos. Good evening, guys. I'm here for another lesson that we're going to work on. Okay, guys? So, be welcome. Bienvenidos. Vamos a empezar. Very well. Okay. So, let us start with... Okay, give me a second. Here it is. Okay. All right. All right. So we're going to start our lesson today. Okay, so this is the lesson number 5. Okay, so today we're going to start with a new topic. Hoy día vamos a empezar con un nuevo tema. Okay, so before we begin, we're going to have a little review, a very short review, so that we can remember what we did in the previous class. Vamos a hacer un repaso para que podamos recordar lo que hicimos en la clase pasada. Alright? So, in order to do that, let's have some introductions. Vamos a empezar haciendo algunas presentaciones. Alright? For example, I can say, here we can have example. I can say something like, hello, my name is Javier. I'm 30 years old. I work as an English teacher, and my hobby is, I don't know, swimming. Right? So this is my example. So let's have some volunteers to share their own introductions. All right? So I'm gonna have some volunteers here, and they're gonna tell me what their introduction, right? Using this information. All right? So in order to do that, may I have some volunteers? May I have a volunteer, please? Like anyone? Okay, hello, Janet. Yes, go ahead, please.
Good evening, teacher.
Good evening, Janet.
Well, hello, my name is Janet. I am 40 years old. My hobby is listening music, and I have 2 children.
Okay. Perfect. Very good, Janet. Just one piece of correction. Hello, my name is Janet. I'm 40 years old, and my hobby is listening to music. All right? We always say listening to music. We don't say only listening music. We say listening or listen to music. All right?
Okay.
Thank you, Janet. May I have another volunteer? Anyone else? Mariana, please, go ahead.
Good evening, teacher.
Hello,
my name is Mariana. I am 5 years old. I work as a secretary. My hobby is dancing.
Excellent. Perfect, Mariana. Very good. Your name is Mariana. You are 25 years old. I work as a secretary. And your hobby is dancing. Perfect. Perfect. May I have one more volunteer? Somebody else? Adelie, please go ahead.
Good evening, teacher.
Good evening,
Hello,
Adelie.
my name is Adeli. I'm 25 years old. I work as teacher. And my hobby is listen to music. I have 3 children. Thank
Okay, thank you. Very good, Adelie. Very good, Adelie. So again, your name is Adelie. You're 25 years old. You work as a teacher. Your hobby is listening to music. All right, and you have 3 children. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. Let's have one more volunteer. Maybe a boy. Maybe a man. A man. Is there any man who would like to participate? Perhaps Renzo or Teófilo or Daniel? Anyone?
Hi. Hello.
Okay, Teófilo, yes, go ahead.
Hello. My name is Teófilo. I
Mhm.
am 44 years old. I work as a manager. My hobby is playing soccer.
Perfect. Very good, Teófilo. Your name is Teófilo, you're 34 years old, you work as a manager, and your hobby is playing soccer. Perfect. Perfect. Very good, guys. We do remember that. So, this is going to be the last review of the session. So guys, this time I'm going to ask you these questions and you're going to answer with a complete sentence. For example, what time do you usually wake up? Not only 6 a.m. No, you have to say, I usually wake up at 6 a.m. All right? So remember to give complete answers. All right? Respuestas completas. All right? So I ask you guys, what time do you usually wake up? What would you say? Any volunteer to answer that? What time do you usually wake up? Janet, please go ahead. What time do you usually wake up?
I always wake up at 6 a.m.
Perfect. I always wake up at 6 a.m. Perfect. Very good, Janet. All right, next one. Do you often drink coffee in the morning? Who'd like to answer that? Any volunteer?
No, a ver,
Yes, Teófilo. Do
no,
you
I don't.
Okay, no, I
Coffee.
don't. Can you
No,
give a complete
I
answer
don't.
like,
I don't. I drink milk in the morning.
perfect. All right, excellent, Teófilo. Very good. What about this one? When do you usually go shopping? Like when, cuando? When do you usually go shopping, guys? What would you say? Any volunteer? Hmm. Anyone? Daniel, Renzo, Mariana, Adelie. Is there anyone who would like to participate in this for this question? When do you usually go shopping? Like when? Maybe on, for example, in my case, I would say,
I
okay, Teofilo, yes.
I usually go shopping on the Monday.
On Monday. Perfect. You usually go shopping on Mondays. Perfect, Teofilo. Good. Let's see this one. Guys, do you always eat breakfast at home? Do you always eat breakfast at home? What would you say? Do you always eat breakfast at home? Like every single time or not always? Okay, Janet, go
Yes,
ahead.
Mm, I I sometimes eat breakfast at home.
Perfect. You sometimes eat breakfast at home because other times you eat out, right? All right. Guys, how often do you watch TV in the evening? How often, how often do you watch TV in the evening? What would you say, guys? Any volunteer? Janet again, or who else would like to participate? Like whoever.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, okay, Janet, go ahead.
I I never no. I sometimes watch TV in the evening.
Perfect. You sometimes watch TV in the evening, right? Perfect. And the last one. What time do you usually go to bed? Like, what time do you usually go to bed? Who would like to answer that?
I
Anyone?
us- I
Okay,
usually
Teofilo, go ahead.
I usually go to bed at 11 p.m.
Perfect. Excellent. You usually go to bed at 11 a.m., right? Very good, guys. Very good. Perfect. So, up to now, do you have any questions, guys? Antes de pasar al siguiente tema, ¿tienen alguna pregunta? Anyone? No questions, right?
For me, teacher.
All right. No questions then. Okay, guys. Today we're going to talk about the, the grammar focus of this lesson is going to be WH questions. Okay, vamos a aprender a hacer preguntas en inglés. All right? With WH, con estas expresiones. Okay, so in order to do this better, we're going to go little by little. Vamos a hacerlo poco a poco. All right? For example, if I ask, guys, do you eat breakfast? Do you eat breakfast? You can answer either yes, I do, or no, I don't. Right? If I ask, do you like pasta? You can say either yes, I do, or no, I don't. Right? If I ask in third person, en tercera persona, does your mom cook every day? You can say yes, she does, or no, she doesn't. If I ask, does your son like soccer? Like, yes, he does. No, he doesn't. So let's practice this a little bit. Hay que practicar esto. For example, if I ask, do you like horror movies? What would you say, guys? Do you like horror movies? ¿Les gustan las películas de terror? What would you say? Adeli, go ahead.
Yes, I do.
Perfect. Yes, I do. Excellent. Excellent. Good. If I ask, do you like traveling? What would you say? Do you like traveling?
No, I don't.
Yes, I do.
Perfect. No, I don't. Or yes, I do. Right? ¿Le gusta viajar? Sí, no. What if I ask, do you go? Let's see. Do you play the guitar? What would you say? Do you play the guitar?
No, I don't.
No, I don't. All right. Perfect. Right?
Teacher,
Yes.
I can answer, or no, I can answer with all the sentences. No, I don't, or yes, I don't. Yes, I do. I can say I yes, I like or I play the guitar. This is correct too.
Okay. For example, you say no. Do you play the guitar? You can say yes. I like it like this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Es posible. Es posible. Es posible. En este caso, solo por practicar, vamos a usar yes, I do, right? De forma tradicional. Okay, so if I now let's see. This is with what if I ask something different like, does your mom like cooking? Does your mom like cooking? ¿A su mamá a su mamá le gusta cocinar? What would you say? Yes or no?
Yes, she does.
Excellent. Yes, she does. Right? Sí le gusta. What if I ask for the ones who have children? Does your son eat vegetables? Tu hijo le tu hijo come vegetales? Does your son eat vegetables? What would you say? Yes or no? What is a possible answer?
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. Right? Perfect. What if I ask, does your sister like going shopping? What would you say? Does your sister like going shopping?
Yes, she does.
Excellent, right? Yes, she does. Perfect. So, having this in mind, let's focus on this. When we have I, we always say do. I do. I do. If we have he or she or it, we say does. Does every time. And if we have you, we, or they, say, I'm sorry, do. All right? Do, we do, she does, it does, they do, and so on. All right? So, this is a very important rule. Es una regla muy importante que siempre debemos tener en cuenta. All right? Great. All the time. Okay? So, let's see. All right. Okay, guys. So, in order to learn how to make these kind of questions, we have to learn what these words mean. Tenemos que aprender qué significa y cuándo se usa cada uno de ellos. Right? So for example, we have what, right? What? What is the meaning of what? ¿Qué? All
Sí.
right. ¿Qué? For example, what is your name? Like, what do you do? Or what does your father do? Right? Cuando queremos saber qué, we say what, right? What? What? What do you eat for lunch, for example? ¿Qué comes en el almuerzo? Right? Good. The next one is where. What is the meaning of where? ¿Dónde? Okay? ¿Dónde? Where? Like, where do you live? Where do you work? ¿Dónde trabajas? Where do you go on holidays? ¿Dónde te vas de vacaciones? Right? So, where or where does your husband work? ¿Dónde trabaja tu esposo? Right? So, we use where para preguntar dónde. Right? Then we have when. What is the meaning of when? It is cuando. Alright? Cuando sucede algo. For example, like here we have when do you eat lunch? ¿Cuándo almuerzas? Right? Or when do you wake up? ¿A qué hora? O ¿cuándo te levantas? Right? Alright, so we use when we want to say cuándo. Right? When do you go working? ¿Cuándo te vas a trabajar? Right? Who? We use who when we want to say quién. All right? Who is your friend? ¿Quién es tu amigo? Who is your father? ¿Quién es tu papá o tu padre? Right? Yeah. Or for example, who do you like? ¿Quién te gusta? All right? Who do you like spending time with? ¿Con quién te gusta pasar el tiempo? Alright? So we use who when we want to talk about quién. Alright? For example, who do you work with? ¿Con quién trabajas? Alright? Then we have the beautiful why. What is why? What is why? Why is por qué. Right? In this case, why do you study English? ¿Por qué estudias inglés? Like, why do you wake up early? ¿Por qué te levantas temprano? Alright? Now, we have the beautiful how. What is how? Is cómo. ¿Cómo haces o cómo haces algo? Right? How do you go to work? ¿Cómo vas a tu trabajo? How do you cook? I don't know. How do you cook pancakes? ¿Cómo preparas o cómo se cocinan los panqueques? Alright? So we say how when we want to emphasize cómo. Alright? And finally, we have how often is con qué frecuencia, right? How often do you exercise? ¿Qué tan seguido? ¿Con qué frecuencia haces ejercicio? Right? For example, how often do you go to the movies? ¿Qué tan seguido vas al cine? right? So, we have these 7 WH questions that we are going to learn. ¿Hay alguna pregunta hasta ahora? Is there any questions up to now? Adeli, yes, go ahead.
Teacher, what is the difference between
What is the difference between what? I'm sorry. ¿Cuál es la diferencia entre qué? I'm sorry, didn't understand. No entendí bien tu pregunta. Me dijiste, ¿cuál es la diferencia entre qué cosas? No escucho bien si estás hablando. Ok, Renzo, go ahead, please.
Profesor, una consulta. ¿En el we podría decir for what también o solo se dice we?
All right. If we can say for what, but when it's an isolated question. But remember the pronunciation is why, as we. Why do you study English? We cannot say for what do you study English. No. Incorrect. We can say, for example, I say, I study English. Estudio inglés. Alguien te pregunta, what for? ¿Para qué? Alright. But actually, why es por qué. Y what for sería como para qué. La forma correcta no sería decir for what. La forma correcta sería decir what for. Right? I study English. Okay, what for? ¿Para qué? Okay, because blah blah blah. Daniel, go ahead. What's your question?
Teacher, are the questions in no, are the question is in the present or infinitive?
This question right now we are learning how to make questions in the present simple. Okay, estamos aprendiendo a hacer preguntas en el presente simple. Pero claro que estas preguntas también las podemos hacer tanto en pasado, en presente, en futuro y en todos los tiempos que existen. All right, I can say, for example, when were you born? ¿Cuándo naciste? Right? Una pregunta en pasado. Or when will you get home? ¿A qué hora llegarás a casa? Right? En futuro. O sea, we can use all of them either in past, present, or future. But right now, we are learning in present. Ahorita mismo nos estamos enfocando en el presente, right? ¿Alguna otra pregunta? Any other questions? No questions? Yes. Go ahead.
No, for me, no questions.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Having that in mind. Okay. Adeline, no entendí bien tu pregunta, pero cuando quieras me la preguntas, ¿ok? Cuando puedas. All right. So, let's continue then. All right. Now, we are going to learn what is the formula. Okay, ¿cuál es la fórmula para hacer estas preguntas? All right. So, first, we always use the WH word. For example, where. Siempre empezamos con la palabra de pregunta. What, where, when, who, how often, and so on. Always. Where plus the auxiliary. It can be either do or it can be does. In this case, let's go with does. What else? The subject, el sujeto, lo que vendría a ser, for example, where does your dad? Papá. Then comes the verb, el verbo principal. For example, where does your dad live? All right. Where does your father live? ¿Dónde vive tu papá? Okay. And that's it. Finish. But we can have a complement. For example, where does your father live? For example, on vacations. ¿Dónde vive tu papá en vacaciones? Suponiendo que tu papá vive en otro lugar diferente en vacaciones, right? So, this is how we make a question, ¿ok? Esa es la fórmula que utilizamos para hacer preguntas. Y funciona para todo. For example, what plus the auxiliary. Let's go with do. What do they, el verbo, what do they like, que les gusta, to eat? Right? What do they like to eat? ¿Qué les gusta comer? Right? A ellos. All right? So, this is the magic formula we need to follow when we want to create these kind of questions. Okay? Another example is, for example, when. When, let's go with does your pet sleep? ¿Dónde duerme tu mascota? All right? So, this is how we do it. So, let's go ahead and practice this kind of questions. All right? For example, we have, what time do you wake up? I wake up at 7. Right? Or we have, where do you live? I live in Lima. All right? So now I'm going to have some volunteers to help me read these questions. Ok, voy a llamar a unos voluntarios que me ayudan a leer estas preguntas y respuestas. All right? So may I have a volunteer to help me read one of them? Any volunteer? Okay, Adeli, go ahead.
What time do you wake up? I wake up at 7 o'clock.
Perfect, Adeli. Thank you. Let's go with Janet. Go ahead.
Where do you live? I live in Lima.
Excellent. Excellent. Anyone else? Somebody else who would like to help me read? For example, Mariana, would you like to help me read this one? Okay, Adeli again.
When do you have lunch? I have lunch at 1 p.m.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, another person for this one. Teófilo.
Yeah. What do you usually do on weekends? I usually play football.
Perfect, Teófilo. Thank you so much. The next one. Renzo, go ahead.
Where does your brother work? He works in a bank.
Excellent. Perfect. All right. The next one. Any volunteer? Mariel, go ahead.
Time does your sister go to bed? She goes to bed at 11.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mariel. Okay, let's have somebody else for this one. Anyone? Janet.
What does your teacher do in class? She teaches English.
Perfect. She teaches English. And the last one? Anyone else for the last one? Just the last one, just read. Adelie.
How often does your friend watch TV? He watches TV every day.
Excellent. Very good. Very good. Okay, guys. Before we continue, I'm going to tell you some common mistakes that people do when it comes to this topic. Errores comunes. For example, I have taught you that, for example, I say, I play, but if it is he, we don't say he play, we say he plays. We say she plays, and so on, right? And it comes with all the verbs. I study, he studies, she studies, or you study, right? Good. That is something we have learned. But when we make a question, we say, what do you like? Right? But what happens if the question is, what does he like? All right? So this question is correct. You don't say, what does he like? No, impossible. Cuando es una pregunta, ya no es necesario agregarle la S, aunque haya he or she. Alright? Cuando es una pregunta. When we answer, yes. What does he like? Okay, he likes ice cream. Le gusta el helado. Alright? Ahí sí usamos la S. Alright? What happens if the question is, what do you do? ¿A qué te dedicas? I'm a doctor. But what happens if it is in third person? Cuando es en tercera persona. What does, say, your wife do? Okay. ¿A qué se dedica tu esposa? We cannot say, what does your wife does? No, impossible. We say, what does your wife do? All right. And then we say, okay, she is a nurse. All right. So that is how we do it. So before we continue, do you have any questions? ¿Tienen alguna pregunta antes de continuar? Adelie, yes, go ahead.
Teacher, my question is, what is the difference between what and which?
Oh, all right. Yes, very good question, Adelie. I forgot one. Bueno, no es que me haya olvidado. Y uno más. We have what, where, when, who, why, how often, and we have also which. Right? Which es parecido a what, pero se diferencian en algo. Which sería como decir cuál. Okay. For example, let's look at the difference. Let's suppose I ask, what do you prefer to eat? ¿Qué preferirías comer? And let us suppose that it is in general. Okay. Esto es cuando es en general. Entonces tienes todas las opciones. You can eat, okay, I prefer pasta, o puedes elegir, I don't know, seafood, comida marina, Creole food, comida criolla. Tienes todas las opciones posibles. But when do we say which do you prefer to eat? Es cuando hay opciones limitadas. Alright? For example, you go to a restaurant and there are only three options. You see lasagna, pizza, and raviolis. Alright? So, only those three options. Solo tienes esas tres opciones, no hay más. Entonces, ahí sí dices which. ¿Cuál prefieres? Cuando es en general, están decidiendo qué comer, what. And this case you say, okay, I prefer the pizza. And so on. Alright? Do you understand the difference? ¿Se entiende la diferencia o otro ejemplo?
Yeah. Pronta mida. ¿Tienes hamburguesa? ¿No hay hamburguesa? ¿Qué cosa hay entonces?
Okay. Another example.
Teacher,
Yes.
disculpe, le voy a hablar en español.
All right.
Teacher, y entonces, siempre decimos, what is your name? Pero en este caso, no me estoy refiriendo a algo en general.
Ok. Exacto. We use what when it's in general. What is your name? There are millions of possibilities, right? Hay millones de posibilidades de cuál puede ser tu nombre, right? María, Marta, Juana. Many different. Okay, my name is John. What's your name? My name is John, in general. But let's suppose that we are let's suppose that we are maybe in the hospital. Estamos en el hospital. Hay dos nombres. One name, una tarjeta dice María, la otra tarjeta dice Marta. All right? And I see you. Okay, now let's make it personal. Okay, let's see. One letter says María and the other says Adeli. Oh, and I ask, hey, señorita, hey, lady, which is your name? ¿Cuál es tu nombre de estas dos tarjetas? It is or María or Adeli. And you say, oh, it's Adeli. All right? Porque las opciones son limitadas. O sea, hay 2, 3, 4 opciones. But what is your name? Is like, no sé cuál es su nombre, puede ser cualquier nombre en el mundo. All right? But when we have limited options, we use which. ¿Se entiende la diferencia?
Yes, teacher, thank you.
All right, no problem. I'm happy to answer your questions. Guys, besides that, any other questions? ¿Hay otra pregunta? No more questions?
No.
¿No más preguntas? All right. So let's continue with this, right? Here we go. Okay, guys, here we are going to unscramble these words, right? We're going to put these questions in order. Remember that all these questions are in this order, so we need to put them in order. Mariel, go ahead.
Where do you live?
I didn't understand, no entendí. Si podrías repetir.
Where do you live?
Excellent, yes, very good, Mariel. In this case, it would be, where do you live, right? Perfect. What about this one? We have time, wake up, what do, and you. How would it be? Any volunteers?
What do you time wake up?
Okay, good. But we need a little correction. We put, what time do you wake up, right? ¿A qué hora te despiertas, right? What time do you wake up? But very good, Teofilo, very good. All right. Then we have this one. We have does, when, work, she. Adeli, go ahead.
When does she work?
Excellent. When does she work? Great. Excellent. Now we have play, do, football, you, and where. How would it be there? Gabi, go ahead.
Where do you play football?
Perfect. Where do you play football? Excellent. Daniel, here.
How often do you go to cinema?
How often do you go to cinema? Yeah, very good. Perfect. Thank you, Daniel. Let's see this one. Does your work wear father? How would it be there? Daniel, go ahead.
Where does your father? No, where does your father work?
Excellent. Where does your father work? Great. Now we have, do usually have you what? Dinner. How would it be there? Any volunteers? Mariana, go ahead.
What do you have usually dinner?
Okay, I think we need a little correction there.
What do you have usually dinner?
What do you usually have for dinner? Okay, it usually comes first, right? Here we have get up, what time he does. Mariana, go ahead. Okay, somebody else. We have get up, what time he does. How would it be here? Renzo, go ahead.
He does get up what time?
Okay, but remember that we always start with the W question. Siempre con la pregunta, con el what, where, who. Adeli,
What time does he get up?
excellent. Right? What time does he get up? Right? Perfect. Now we have she, breakfast, eat, does, and where. How would it be here? ¿Cómo sería allí? She, breakfast, eat, does, and where. Adeli, go ahead.
Where does she eat breakfast?
Excellent. Where does she eat breakfast? Perfect. Perfect. And Mariana, speak you do English when.
When do you speak in English?
Excellent. When do you speak English, right? Perfect. Very good, guys. All right. Let's change the top. Let's change this. Let's see. Okay, guys. Now we are going to match. Okay, so what is match? Here we have some questions, right? What time do you go to bed? Where do you usually have lunch? When does your mother cook dinner? And so on. And here we have the answers. So what we're gonna do is we are going to match. All right, what is match? Is like select what is the most logical answer. ¿Cuál sería la respuesta más lógica para cada pregunta? Right? So, let's see. Okay, Adeli, if the question is, what time do you go to bed? What would be the most logical answer?
At 11 p.m.
Great. At 11 p.m., right? At 11, actually I'm gonna just type the letter here. At 11 p.m., letter F. Good. Excellent. The question is, where do you usually have lunch? Renzo,
At home.
at home, right? At home, which would be letter E. Good. Now, if the question is, when does your mother cook dinner? When does your mother cook dinner? How would it be in that case? Any volunteer for this one? When does your mom cook dinner? ¿Cuándo tu mamá o cuándo cocina o cuándo prepara la cena tu mamá? When does your mother cook dinner? Adeli,
In the evening.
great. In the evening, right? Perfect. Now, if I say, how often do you read books? How often do you read books? How would it be there? ¿Qué tan seguido lees libros? How often do you read books?
3 times a week.
Okay, possible. It's possible. It's possible. Es posible. Hay otra respuesta que también es posible, pero vamos con eso. All
Three
right.
times a 3 times a week.
3 times a week. We can say every night or twice a month. Estas tres son posibles, right? Let's see. What do you usually do on Sundays? Yes, what do you usually do on Sundays?
I play football.
I play football, right? Letter G. Excellent. What if I ask, where does your best friend live?
In Arequipa.
In Arequipa, right? In Arequipa. What if I ask, when do you watch TV? When do you watch TV? How would it be here? Yeah. When do you watch TV? ¿Cuándo ves televisión? Okay, Adeli, go ahead.
Is the letter D, teacher, every night?
Every night, yeah, totally possible. What time does your father get up? How would it be here? What time does your father get up? Mariana, go ahead.
At 6 a.m.
At 6 a.m., right? Perfect. 6 a.m. Now, what if I ask, how often do you play video games? How would it be? Renzo, go ahead.
Twice a month.
Good. Twice a month. It's possible, completely possible. And the most difficult one. What do you do after class? What do you do after class?
A.
What is A?
I usually do my homework.
Perfect. I usually do my homework. Very good, Crow. Perfect. Excellent. And now, okay. Now, this activity is a little more difficult, but I'm sure that we can do it. We are going to transform. All right, vamos a transformar estas preguntas. For example, if this question is, do you eat lunch at 2? Vamos a transformar esta pregunta en W8. In this case, the question is, do you eat lunch at 2? How would it be the question transformed? ¿Cómo sería la pregunta transformada? Si estamos hablando de horas, what time do you eat lunch, right? So, do you eat lunch too? What time do you eat lunch? All right. So, here, does she live in Lima? Adeli, please, go ahead.
Where does she live?
Excellent. Where does she live? Perfect. Excellent. Now we have, do you go to the gym on Mondays? How would be a question? Remember that there are many options. Hay más de una opción. Adeli, go ahead.
Uh, when do you go? When do you go to the gym?
Excellent. When do you go to the gym? Remember that there are many options. For example, what time do you eat lunch? Or what do you do at 2 p.m.? ¿Qué haces a las 2 de la tarde? I have lunch. Right? So we have many options. Or here, do you go to the gym on Mondays? When do you go to the gym? Or what do you do on Monday? Right? Recuerden que hay muchas opciones, no solo una. But very good, Adeli. Go. Very good. Here, does he work in a hospital? Adeli again.
Where does he work?
Excellent. Where does he work? Good. Good. Let's see. Do you wake up at 6:30? How would it be there? Any volunteers? Maybe Crow, maybe Janet, Mariana, Adeli, okay.
What time do you wake up?
Great. What time do you wake up? All right. Great. Now, does your brother play football? Janet, go ahead.
Where does your brother play football?
Good. Good. Perfectly. The question is correct. We remember that we have many options, like where does your brother football? Who plays football? Okay, but or what does your brother play? Right? So we have, remember that we have many options, all right? Now, do you study English in the morning? How would it be in that case? Do you study English in the morning? Adeli,
What time do you study English?
perfect, excellent, good. Another option could be like, what do you study in the morning, right? Good. Or when? Okay, what time or when do you study English is the same, right? It's the same. Great. What about this? Does your teacher speak Spanish? How would it be in that case? Does your teacher speak Spanish? How would it be in that case? Crow, yes?
Who do teachers speak Spanish?
Who your teacher speaks Spanish? Okay, if we want to say who, we can say who does speak Spanish. ¿Quién habla español? Pero hay otra forma. Does your teacher speak Spanish? Otra forma de preguntar ¿cómo sería? Sorry. Who speaks Spanish? ¿Cómo sería otra forma? We can say, what language does your teacher, yeah, I know it was kind of difficult, right? Speak. All right, but it's okay though. What about this one? Do you watch TV in the living room? How would it be? Adeli.
Where do you watch TV?
Excellent. Where do you watch TV? Perfect. And finally, do they eat pizza on Fridays? How would it be there? Do you eat pizza on Fridays? Adeli?
When do they eat pizza?
Perfect. When do they eat pizza, right? Excellent. Very good, guys. Very good. Okay. Before going on, do we have any questions? ¿Hay algunas preguntas? ¿Hay preguntas antes de continuar?
For me, no question, teacher.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. In that case, we can continue, right? Okay, here we have open-ended questions. All right. Okay, guys, in this case, we have open questions, and I'm gonna have you answer them. All right? Like, for example, if I ask, guys, when do you usually wake up on Sundays? Remember to give complete answers, right? For example, when do you usually wake up on Sundays? I usually wake up at, let's say, 9 a.m. on Sundays, right? So, guys, what would you say? When do you usually wake up on Sundays? What would you say? Any volunteer? Adeli, go ahead.
I usually wake up at 6 o'clock on Sundays.
6 o'clock, right? Great. Excellent. Excellent. Now, where do you go after school? Well, in this case, we can change. We not say school, we can say work. All right? So, where do you go after work? What would you say? ¿A dónde van después del trabajo? Where do you go after work? What would you guys say? Janet, go ahead.
I always go to my home. At home.
Good. I always go to my home. We can simplify and say I always go home, right? Simplified. Very good, Janet. What about, what do you usually eat for breakfast? What do you usually eat for breakfast? What can we say? What do
I
you, okay,
usually eat milk and cereal.
great. I usually eat milk and cereal. Perfect. What if the question is, when does your mother cook dinner? How would it be there? When does your mother cook dinner? How would it be there? When does your mom cook dinner? How would it be in that case? Like, ¿cuándo tu mamá cocina o prepara la cena? How would it be there? Any volunteers? For example, my mom. Okay, Adeli, go ahead.
Okay, my mother
Mhm.
cooks dinner on Fridays.
Friday. Excellent. Very good, Adeli. What if the question is, where does your best friend live? Your best friend, where does he live? What would you say? Anyone? ¿Dónde vive su mejor amigo? Where does your best friend live? In my case, I would say, okay, Adeli, go ahead.
My best friend lives in Lima.
Perfect. My best friend lives in Lima. What does your father do in the evening? What does your father do in the evening? ¿Qué hace su papá en las tardes noches? What does your father do in the evening? What would you guys say? Janet?
My father always reads a book.
Perfect. Excellent. My father always reads a book. Excellent. What if? When do you do your homework? I mean, like when you have to do stuff at home. When do you do it? Cuando tienen que hacer algo en casa. ¿Cuándo lo hacen? Any volunteer? Whoever. Okay, Janet, go ahead.
I do my homework all the days,
Todos los días?
every day. Yes.
Every day, right? You do your homework every day. Okay, this question is kind of weird. Where does your teacher usually sit in class? All right, so when we are in class, where do I usually sit? ¿Dónde me suelo sentar? Where do I usually sit? Anyone? Okay, Janet.
My teacher usually sit behind my best friend in class.
Okay, my teacher usually sits behind my best friend. Great, very good, Janet. What about this one? What do you do with your friends? What do you do with your friends? ¿Qué haces con tus amigos? Renzo, go ahead.
I play soccer with my friends.
Perfect. I play soccer with
With my
my
friends.
friends. Very good, Renzo. Very good. And now, when does your brother or sister watch TV? When does your brother or sister watch TV? Any volunteer? Like, when does your brother or sister watch TV? Cuando su hermano o hermana ve televisión. Okay, Renzo, go ahead.
My brother watch TV in the night.
Okay, my brother watches TV at night. Good. Very good, guys. Okay, guys. Great. All right. So now, we're going to have an activity. Now, we are going to create our own WH questions. Okay, we're going to create our own WH questions. Vamos a crear nuestras propias preguntas. All right. For example, here we have what time do you go to bed? How often do you cook? Where do you work? We can ask we can ask any question. For example, like who do you live with? ¿Con quién vives? Or what is your favorite food? What do you like doing on weekends? Like any questions, all right? At least 3 questions, all right? At least 3 questions. Como mínimo 3 preguntas, all right? And then I'm going to have volunteers, but in pairs, okay? Volunteers in pairs. What is pairs? En parejas, all right? For example, I can have like Janet and Renzo, and Janet is going to ask Renzo a question, all right? Janet le pregunta a Renzo una pregunta, and Renzo answers, responde, all right? Y luego al revés. And so on, okay? I'm going to have volunteers in pairs. Do you understand the activity?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so let's have a minute. Let's have 1 minute so that you can prepare your questions. Okay, you prepare 3 WH questions. Vamos a preparar cada uno 3 preguntas así, right? Let's have 1 minute to do it. Right? Tengamos un minuto para hacerlo.
What's your favorite food?
Oh, all right. I am really sorry, guys. I was muted. So, guys, we're going to have. Okay, so we are going to have two volunteers, all right, to ask the questions. For example, we have Janet and Crow. So, who would like to start giving the questions? Okay.
What's your favorite book?
All right. Okay, the question is, what's your favorite book? What would be the answer?
¿Yo respondo?
The other person. ¿Quién preguntó? La otra persona responde.
Okay.
Janet, what is your favorite book then?
Yeah, okay, it's for me. My favorite book is, I don't know. Whatever book. I don't have.
Okay.
No.
Totally valid. Like, I don't have a favorite book, right? Perfect. Now, Janet, ask a question to Crow.
Who is your favorite singer?
Perfect.
My favorite singer is R&B.
Okay. I didn't hear who your favorite singer is, but it's okay. Okay, now, Crow, ask another question to Janet.
Where do you live?
Okay. Where do you live? What would you say,
Pero ahorita voy
Janet?
a salir llueve. Voy a ir
I
a la plaza.
live,
Entregar el este.
I live in Ancon.
Great. I live in Ancon. Perfect. Okay, and Janet, now you ask a question to Crow.
When does your brother go to the cinema?
Perfect. When does your brother go to the cinema? Crow, what would you say?
My brother goes
Del
the
1 al
weekend.
8.
Okay, Crow, your brother goes to the cinema
On the weekend.
on the weekends. Perfect. Excellent. Very good, Crow, and very good, Janet. Great. Now, let's have another set of volunteers. Let's have otros dos voluntarios. Who would like to participate here? Okay, Renzo. And somebody else? ¿Alguien más? Okay, Adeli. Renzo and Adeli. Great. So, let's begin. Renzo, ask a question to Adeli.
Do you like playing volleyball?
Adeli, what would you say? Do you like playing volleyball, Lily? Okay, but remember that the question has to be with WH. Okay, so if the question is, do you like playing volleyball? How would it be with WH? ¿Cómo sería una pregunta con WH? Because it has to be an open answer. Tiene que ser una respuesta abierta, no de sí o no, sino abierta. How would it be? Do you like playing volleyball? How would it be in a WH question? We can say, for example, what sport do you like playing? Right? So, Adeli, what sport do you like playing? What would you say? No sports? Okay. Or Adeli, okay, what sports do you play? For example, you can say, I like playing, I don't know, volleyball, right? All right. Adeli, can you ask a question to Renzo?
Teacher, ¿me escucha?
Yes, now I can hear you. Ahora sí.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, Renzo, where are you from?
Okay, Renzo, where are you from? What would you say?
My from is Chorrillos.
All right, I am from Chorrillos. Very good, Renzo. Now, Renzo, ask another question to Adeli. Another one.
What pizza do you like?
All right. What pizza do you like? Adeli, what pizza do you like?
Teacher, I don't understand the question.
Okay, it's like, what kind of pizza do you like? ¿Qué tipo de pizza te gusta? We have Hawaiian, Americana, pepperoni, and so on. What kind of
Okay,
pizza do you like?
I like the pizza Hawaiiana.
All right, you like the Hawaiian pizza. Very good. Now, Adeli, ask a last question to Renzo.
Okay, Renzo.
Any question?
Where do you live?
Okay, where do you live, Renzo? Where do you live?
I live in Chorrillos.
All right, you live in Chorrillos. Perfect. Very good, guys. All right. Now, we're gonna have our reading comprehension activity. So, let's see. We have a short text here, about Laura. All right? So, I'm gonna have 3 volunteers to help me read this text. Okay, so let's read the text until I'll tell you so. So, may I have a volunteer to start reading the text? Anyone? Adeli, go ahead. Yes, Adeli, go ahead. Okay, while Ali fixes his problem, Janet, start please.
Hi, my name is Laura. I usually wake up at 6:30 because I like to exercise in the morning. I sometimes go jogging in the park before breakfast. I always have breakfast at home with my brother.
Excellent. Continue, Crow.
I always have breakfast at home with my brother. I start work at 9 and usually take the bus to the office, and lunchtime I often eat with my coworkers in a small restaurant near the office. After work, I usually read book or watch TV, but twice a week I go to English class.
All
Oh,
right. Okay, and one last volunteer to help me read this part. Anyone? Lourdes, please.
On weekends, I often visit my grandparents and sometimes I go shopping with my friends. I usually go to bed around 10:30.
Great. Excellent, guys. All right. So we read about Laura and her routine and her everyday routine, right? So now we're gonna read. We're gonna have some reading comprehension questions. All right. So let's go one by one, having met some volunteers. For example, if I ask, guys, what time does Laura wake up? What would you tell me? Janet, go ahead.
Laura wakes up at 6:30.
Perfect. I'm sorry. Laura wakes up at 6:30. Very good. Great. Now, why does she wake up early? Why does she wake up early? Why does she wake up early? Adeli, why does she wake up early? What is the
Because
reason? Because,
she do exercise.
good, because she does exercises, right? Great. Excellent. All right. Let's see. Where does she sometimes go before breakfast? Where does she sometimes bef- where does she sometimes go before breakfast? Where does she sometimes go before breakfast? What can you tell?
She,
Yes?
she goes to the park.
Okay. She what?
She goes,
She
goes,
goes to
goes
the park, right? She goes to the park. Excellent. Excellent. Now, who does she have breakfast with? Who does she have breakfast with? Yes, who does she have breakfast with? Okay, Renzo, go ahead.
She has breakfast with her brother.
Excellent. She has breakfast with her brother. Very good, Renzo. Very good. Now, what time does she start work? What time does she start work? What would you say? What time does she start working?
She
Okay, yeah, she
she starts working at night.
at night. I think so. Let's see. Yes, excellent. At 9, right? Not at night. Sorry. Sorry about that. Great. Now, how does she usually go to the office? Renzo. How does she usually go to the office? How does she usually go to the office? Anyone? Where
She
does she? Yeah.
usually go to it.
Okay, yeah, but how does she usually go to the office? ¿Cómo va a la oficina? ¿Cómo va a la oficina? How does she usually go to the office? ¿Cómo va?
She takes the bus.
Excellent. So we say she takes the bus. Perfect. Now, where does she often eat lunch? Where does she often eat lunch? Where?
Small restaurant.
Good. So in a complete sentence, how would we say it in a complete sentence? Complete sentence o respuesta completa. Where does he often eat lunch? We know in a restaurant, but how do we say it? She Where does she usually go to eat lunch?
She eats with her coworkers.
Okay, good. But we are asking where. ¿Dónde?
But,
Where does she usually have lunch?
she eats She eats
Okay, she eats
lunch
lunch.
in a restaurant.
All right, she eats lunch in a restaurant, right? Perfect. Now, what does she usually do after work? ¿Qué hace ella después del trabajo? What does she usually do after work? What does she usually do after work? What can we say?
She usually reads books or watch TV.
Excellent. She. All right. Okay. Okay, right? She usually reads a book and watches TV, right? Perfect. What about how often does she go to English class? How often does she go to English class? Renzo, go ahead.
She goes twice a week.
Good. She goes twice a week, right? Dos veces a la semana. And what does she usually do on weekends? What does she usually do on weekends? What does she usually do on weekends? What can we tell about that? What does she usually do on weekends, guys? What does she usually do on weekends? Who can answer that?
She usually shopping.
Okay. She usually goes shopping, right? That would be it. Guys, up to now, hasta ahora, ¿tienen alguna pregunta? ¿Alguna duda? ¿Inquietud? Do you have any questions so far? Renzo, go ahead.
Profesor, disculpa que hable en español. Quería saber la pronunciación correcta de 30 o del número 30.
Of course, no problem. Okay, we have the numbers here. Okay, so when it comes to numbers, this is the number 30, right? We say 30, 30, 30, 30. But remember that in English, there are many accents of English, all right? There are many accents, just like in Spanish. Tenemos muchos acentos en inglés también como en español. So some people not say 30, but they say 30, okay? 30. Con que algunos suena la T, otros no. Like we can say 30 or 30, all right? Is that clear?
Yes.
All right, so we say 30 or 30, right? Having that in mind, we're gonna have some miscellanea to play with. Give me a second. All right. Okay. Here we go. Hold on a second. All right, there we go. Okay, guys. Here we are going to choose what the correct alternative is. Okay, so if we have, do you play the guitar? Which option would be the most suitable?
When?
When, right? Perfect. When do you play the guitar? Excellent. If the question is your favorite singer? What would be the answer? When, who, how many, or what? I'm sorry?
Who?
Who, right? Who is your favorite singer? Okay. Languages do you speak?
What? How many?
When?
Well, in this case would be how many. What is the meaning of how many?
¿Cuántos?
Cuántos. All right?
What?
Cuántos. In this case, how many languages do you speak? ¿Cuántos idiomas hablas? Here, of music do you like?
What kind of music?
What kind of music do you like? Right? ¿Qué tipo de música te gusta? Now, do you like going to the gym? What could it be here?
Why?
Why, right? ¿Por qué te gusta ir al gimnasio? Why do you like going to the gym? Here, do you do? What would it be?
What?
What do you do, right? Perfect. Now, were you born? Okay, this is in past. Actually, here we have two possible answers. This is not a good question. We can say where were you born or when were you born. All right, so let's go with, okay, this one then. Doesn't matter. Let's go with this. Is it cold in here? Where, why, who, or what?
Where?
Where is it cold in here? ¿Dónde está frío aquí? Or why? Right? ¿Por qué hace frío aquí? All right. Here, do you study English? Where, who, why, or what?
Where?
Where? Good. Excellent.
Oh, why?
Yeah, why was also possible, right? And here, do you play the guitar with?
When?
Who?
Who? Why? Because tenemos este de acá. With. Cuando vemos este with, es con quién. Alright? So it would be, who do you play the guitar with? Alright? Perfect. Alright. And this one then. Yeah, just 16. Alright? Oh. Alright. So here we have 16 options and we are going to select one number to transform the questions. For example, if we pick 6, we have here, this is the answers. She plays the piano because she enjoys it. If this is the answer, what would be the question? Si esa es la respuesta, ¿cuál sería la pregunta? She plays the piano because she enjoys it. ¿Cuál sería la, what would be the question?
Why,
Why? Yes.
why does she play the piano?
Excellent. Wait, why does she play the piano? Right? Perfect. Very good, guys. Great. Okay, let's go with number, let's say 5. My favorite color is blue. If this is the answer, what would be the question?
What's your favorite color?
Excellent, right? What's your favorite color? Great. All right. Let's go with number 12. Let's see what it says. My best friend is Sarah. What would be the question? I am asking about a person. My best friend is Sarah. ¿Quién? How do we say quién in English?
Who?
Who?
Who is your best friend?
Excellent. Who is your best friend? Great. Let's go with number 1. They watch movies once or twice a week. Ven películas una o dos veces a la semana. How will it be? Cuando queremos hablar de frecuencia, qué tan frecuente hacemos algo, what do we say? We can say, how often? How often what? We can say, how often do they watch movies, right? How often do they watch movies? All right. What about number 2? She goes for a walk in the park near the house. How would it be? She goes for a walk in the park near her house. Hay muchas opciones. What would be one? Any volunteer? She goes for a walk in the park near her house. This is a place, es un lugar. Queremos saber dónde. How would it be then?
Where
Where?
where does she go for a walk?
Excellent. Where does she go for a walk? Perfect. In the park. Great. Oh my God, good. All right, number 14. I do my homework in the evening after dinner. Time, tiempo. How would it be here? ¿Cuándo? How would it be there? We can say when.
When
Yeah.
When do you go?
When do you do your
Your
homework?
homework.
Remember that do es un auxiliar, pero también significa hacer. También es un verbo que significa hacer. Right? When do you do your homework? Good. Now, number 4. They usually have breakfast at home. How would it be there? They usually have breakfast at home. ¿Dónde? How would it be there? We can say where. Where what? We can say where do they usually have breakfast, right? ¿Dónde suelen desayunar? All right. Okay, and the last one, since we are out of time already, let's see 10. No one plays the piano in my house. How would it be here? Nadie toca el piano en mi casa. ¿Cuál sería la pregunta? What would be the question? No one plays the piano in my house.
What will be why?
Okay, why? Why what?
Why? What? Why doesn't no one play? Why doesn't no one play the piano in your house?
Very good, very good. Está bien, muy bien. Pero ¿por qué nadie toca el piano en tu casa? Nadie toca el piano en mi casa. O sea, como que no es la respuesta de esta pregunta, ¿no? Pero la pregunta está muy bien gramáticamente, ¿no? Would be like, who plays the piano in your house? No one. No one plays the piano in my house. All right? Very good, guys. So, it's already 11. So, we're going to continue this next class, right? Next class, we're still going to reinforce this topic. La siguiente clase vamos a seguir reforzando este tema. All right? So, again, thank you so much for coming. See you next Tuesday. All right, guys? Thank you for coming. Have a nice sleep. Thank you so much.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you as well.
Goodbye, teacher.
Goodbye, guys. Have a nice weekend.
Basic English Session Number 5.
Instituto Peruano de Idiomas, IPEID. 13 años formando profesionales de alto nivel. Visítanos en calle Amador Merino Reina 460, San Isidro, Lima. O contáctanos a través de WhatsApp.